So A.C.T.I.O.N, we're going to kind of go through that action, right? We start with automation. This is really, really critical. This isn't an add-on. It is the foundational element of what we are doing. So when we look at automation, we look at this as the mission critical piece. Why? Simply put, you cannot fight cybersecurity without a high degree of automation in the things that you're doing. Most of what you're seeing is repetitious. You have to be able to handle that. What we look at automation is it gives us the ability to not just filter out noise and not just be have a high efficacy, but a high degree of consistency at scale. It takes human error out of the mix on routine things that wear people down. When you look at the world as it is today and look at the cybersecurity problem, we don't see technology necessarily as the solution. We see it as part of the problem. If you have 10, 20, 50 tools out there, how do you integrate them all? How do you make sure that they all work together? Well, we leverage automation, orchestration, and response. And what this gets us to is outcomes. And that's really, really critical. We want to deliver outcomes, and we'll talk about that later and what those outcomes actually are. Correlation. If you're not correlating the data across tool sets, you're losing the opportunity to enhance and enrich that data and understand what it actually means. Without correlation, I can send you an event and tell you it's a 6. What does that mean? What's a 6? Is a 6 to you, a 10 to me? What is a 6, right? We want to correlate that data across every data source that we have. And we want to be able to help bring extract real meaningful information out of it so that we send it to you. And it's not a 6. It's, hey, this thing over here is going on. We think maybe you should take a look at it. It's suspicious. Here's why. And only you may be able to be sure to determine whether it truly is malicious or benign. The correlation is really critical. We leverage XDR. Our automation tool set to some degree does some additional correlation, but we can take all that, and our XDR capabilities allow us to correlate across your entire attack surface, your entire enterprise. Triangulation. We want to triangulate data sources. If we're just managing your SentinelOne EDR for you, we don't want to just trust SentinelOne. It's a phenomenal product. It gives us great amounts of information, but we want to use other threat intel feeds. We want to use data from our XDR data lake. That's real-time IOCs from about 1,500 customers out there. We want to take data maybe from network data detection, NDR tool sets, all of those things. We want to bring all that together. And the way we do that is with our SOAR capabilities. It goes back to the automation. We can use the automation to triangulate in real time. We can run up to a dozen processes simultaneously on one alert. That's just one alert. We can run thousands and thousands of alerts all at the same time. So in real time, we're able to triangulate what we get from these tool sets and bring it back and decide what next action is. That might be automatic. It might be sending it to a human being. It's really important, however, that you understand that we're triangulating the data that we're getting and trying to decide if we want to take action on it immediately. Integration. The bane of every CISO's existence, of every SOC operator's existence, is a lack of integration of tool sets. That's interoperability, reporting, all things integration. So our focus is to have an open architectured ecosystem that allows us to meet clients exactly where they live. Because we are channel only in our approach, we have had to, from the very nature of our being, we've had to build from the ground up around a value chain that is tools that we believe in that are very important, and then you can buy from us, through us, tools that our partners think are critical to the success of their clients. We need to be able to incorporate those. And then most of all, the clients already have embedded tool sets. Enterprise customers have on average more than 50 tools deployed across their environment. So we want to be able to say to you and to your client that we can meet you exactly where you're at on your journey. We want to be able to integrate all of this stuff into our ecosystem and make your life easier and make their life better, make their enterprise more secure and not just potentially compliant, because those are two different things. Orchestration. You could easily interchange the O here for outcomes, because this is really what brings the outcome that we're looking for, which in this image is a happy customer, right? So what we're able to do by bringing all of these things together that we've talked about is we're able to detect and respond very quickly. Our goal is a mean time to detection and response of 30 minutes or less on every event. We are not necessarily there right this minute, but we are extremely close. We're detecting things in moments at this point that would have taken days or weeks before, because we've eliminated all of the noise. And week in, week out, we have 2 or 3 things that we're able to catch for customers, because we're taking maybe the 1 or 2 products that they are using where they might be better served having a more robust footprint, but just taking the 1 or 2 things that they have and leveraging it against our action philosophy, we're able to find things, that needle in the haystack of needles that would have otherwise been missed. So even when they don't have the complete suite of what they probably should have, we're still able to deliver a better outcome. We're able to isolate things more quickly, and we're able to help them in their remediation planning. So that outcome of real security through less noise, higher degree of automation, higher degree of proactive threat hunting, which is what our SOC personnel do more than responsive. They're actually out there doing that. That's how we get to that happy customer, which at the end of the day is what we're all looking for, because we want that customer to stay for years and years and years. Normalization. This is the end of the action. We talk about normalization in normalizing these processes and procedures, normalizing the traffic on the network. What starts to happen as we've normalized everything on a client's network is we start getting reduced. We get faster detection, which means reduced dwell times, higher fidelity alerts. So when we're sending you something, that's operationalization of that data. We're sending you something that needs to be looked at. It may not be an indication of compromise, but it may be an anomaly that you need to understand. Why is this service running? Why is that port open? What am I doing on this network that I can do better? And by taking that action, you get better at security today. You harden your surface a little bit better than you were this morning. And that's true benefit of security. That's the benefit of this action process. As you see on the one side of the slide here, we've reduced our noise by over 99%. It's like 99.8, something like that, because through this process and through thousands and thousands of run books and automations that we've built, the machine learning then on top of it kicks in and gets much faster, because it's watching our decisions and it's judging our judgments, right? So we can, every day we get more and more efficient. And that doesn't just bring costs down to you. What it does is it provides that outcome. And it means that when we're sending you something, we are highly certain that you should look at it. And that's really critical.